Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are starting Unit 3 already. Can you believe it? All right, so in section 3.1, we're going to talk about stem plots, box plots, and measures of center. Now, I'm going to make two videos out of this so that they're shorter. So the first video will be on the stem plots, and then I will make the box plots and measures of center. All right, let's begin. So we're going to create a stem plot, also known as the stem and leaf plot, from the following data set. Okay, the following are Chapter 1 test scores from my Algebra 2 class. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you through some methods that will hopefully help you with the graphing calculator. So have your graphing calculator pulled up. And what I'm going to do is when I have to enter the data, I'm actually not going to record that part so that the video is a little bit shorter. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this data into my calculator. All right, so let me go to the next screen quick. To do that, I'm going to do this first step right here. I'm going to hit Stat, Edit, and then I'm going to put the numbers in the list. Again, Stat, Edit. All right, let me go back. So here we go. So I'm going to pull up the calculator. Stat is right here underneath the delete button. And then edit is number 1. Now, I just so happen to have numbers in there from my AP Stats class. So I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So you're going to use your arrow keys. So you're going to go up all the way to the top. See how L1 is highlighted? And then you're going to hit the clear button. Do not hit delete. Hit the clear button and then hit the down arrow. Okay, let me show that to you one more time. I'm going to go all the way to the top and I'm going to hit the clear button and then the down arrow. And please make sure your calculator has list 1. If your calculator is missing list 1, then you need to Google how to put the lists back on your calculator because there's all kinds of videos out there with the graphing calculator, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what I'm going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to type these numbers into the calculator. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do 70 and then enter and so on. So I'm going to pause myself recording this and enter those so it saves a little bit of time. All right, you may want to do the same. Pause the video and enter the numbers in list 1. I'll be right back in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I've typed in all 20 of those numbers in my list, and you can type them in any order because I'm going to show you how we can use the calculator to sort. All right, that's the next little trick I want to show you because it's going to make it a lot easier to go ahead and do the stem and leaf plot with them sorted. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this step right here. I'm going to go Stat, and then I'm going to pick, there's two there, you could either pick ascending or descending. Okay, well, I'm going to pick ascending, but then I have to tell it what list it is. Now, how do you find your list? Okay, right here are the directions. You're going to have to hit second and then the number 1. All right, let me show you. Let me demonstrate. Okay, write those down in your notebook. Remember, you have the power of pause and rewind. All right, so I'm going to go Stat again. But I'm going to pick number 2 this time. And then I have to tell it what list I'm going to sort. Well, the list is the number 1, but it's a second function. Okay, it's above the number 1. So you got to hit the blue button, the second button, and then the number 1 button. Now, you don't have to close it, but it's always a good idea to practice closing things when you have the parentheses. And then hit enter. And it's going to say done. Now, the cool thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when I go back to Stat Edit, they're in order from smallest to largest. That is so cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to make your stem and leaf plot using these numbers. Except I'm not going to be able to have the calculator pulled up as I do this. But you can have yours pulled up as you're taking the notes on your paper and you can see how I'm going through it. Okay, so I'm just going, now that they're sorted, it's going to be real easy to make the stem and leaf plot. All right, I'm going to put my calculator on the other screen and I'm going to go ahead and start making my stem and leaf plot. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So back in middle school, you should have learned this. Okay, it is part of the actual middle school standards, so this should be review for you. All right, here we go. Let's make it in blue. All right, so we make a vertical line, and let me see if I can make that a little bit straighter. Make a vertical line like this. All right, like a tree, the left side is going to be the stem, and then on this side, those are going to be the leaves, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the smallest number in our data set is the 45. This is why it's really nice to have them listed in order. So what I'm going to do for my stem is I'm going to put the 4, the tens place. Okay, then I'm going to look at the biggest number, which is 105. Someone must have gotten some bonus points on a test. All right, so what I have to do now is I have to number all the way from 4 to 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you cannot skip any numbers. All right. So looking at my data, I've got 45. So the 5 is going to be a leaf. Now, when you make your leaves, you're going to go in order from the smallest to the largest. Okay, now I'm going to go to the 50s. Is there a 50? Yes, there is. There's a 53. That's it. Now the 60s, there are 3 of them. There's a 64, which is the smallest, and then there are 2 67s. And again, I'm looking at my calculator while doing this because I think it's a lot quicker. You can certainly look at the original data list as you're doing this if you want. All right, so the 60s are done. Now I'm going to go to the 70s. Well, let's see. In the 70s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. The smallest is 70, and there are 2 of them. So we're going to go 0, 0, and then we're going to go 6, 8. All right. Now the 80s. Well, let's see here. 80s. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 80s. All right, 6 that are in the 80s. The smallest is 80, and then 81, and 82, and then 84, and then 2 89s. All right, and then the 90s. Well, let's see, how many 90s do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So we've got a 91, we've got a 92, a 95, and a 98. And then the last one is 105. So that's a stem and leaf plot. But one very important thing you have to do in a stem and leaf plot is a key, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you're making a display, that's for people to look at. And you have to explain to them what the key is telling you. So you can pick any of the numbers that you want. I'm going to go ahead and pick the 5/3, and I'm going to say equals. Well, what does that mean? That means 53 test score. So that's telling me that these are test scores. And if you wanted to get even more detailed with that, you would say 53 test scores on the algebra test. Okay, so that is a stem and leaf plot. But that's not all there is to a stem and leaf plot, ladies and gentlemen, because there are several other things that we need to look at. Okay, so the next one I'm going to look at with you is one that has actual decimals in it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause my video again, and I'm going to type these numbers into my list 1. All right, so let me demonstrate again how I can clear my list. So again, I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to hit clear, and then I'm going to hit that down arrow. All right, I'm going to pause this and get those numbers typed in. Be back in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I've got them typed in. Now I don't have them sorted yet, so let me take through you that one more time. So again, to sort them, we do stat, calculate. Oh, sorry about that. No. Stat. Number 2, sort. And then again, I'm going to tell it to sort list 1 by doing second number 1. I'm going to close that, and then it's done. All right, so then when I go back to my list, they're all nicely sorted from smallest to largest. All right, now, one of the things that we want to be able to do with a stem and leaf plot is be able to say some things about what's going on, okay? Not just to look at it. We want to be informed about something. So let's take a look at this one. Let's get this one built, and then we're just going to see what does this stem and leaf plot show us. All right, so here we go. So let's go with purple this time. So again, I'm going to go ahead and make my vertical line. My stem is on the left side and my leaves are on the right side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this one you can see we've got our decimals, and the first one is $1 and then $2. All right, so when we make our stem, we're going to begin with 1 for $1, and the highest price goes to $4, so we're going to go to 4. All right, so $1, $2, $3, $4. Now, when you're making a stem and leaf plot with decimals, you do not put the decimals in the leaves. Do not. Okay, so the first one you can see is $1.77, and then $1.79, 89, 89, 99. So when we do that, we're going to go like this. We're going to go 79. Okay, now if you want, you could put a comma, but I would prefer that you didn't, and they really don't like commas when they're making displays. Okay, we're just going to leave a space. Whoops, that's supposed to be 77, everyone. Let me back that up and make that a 77. My fault. Okay, then the next one is a 79. So I'm going to leave some space and I'm going to put a 79. So I can see that those two numbers are together. Okay, and then next is 89, and then 89, and then 99. Okay, so those are all the ones for $1. Now the $2. So the lowest one is $2.03, $2.59, $2.67, $2.87, 96 cents, and then 99 cents. Please line them up. See how I've got them lined up? Okay, that's really important too, is to make sure you're lining them up correctly. Then we have $3.05, 9 cents, 26 cents, and 99 cents. And then we have one that's $4.16. All right, we have to make our key. All right, so I'm just going to do this, and that equals $1.77, and that represents the price of toothpaste. Now, what is it showing us? Well, ladies and gentlemen, now I can real quickly look at it, look at the display and say, oh, most of the toothpaste costs $1 to $2, somewhere in the $1 to $2 range. And there's one really expensive toothpaste that's $4.16. So again, the display is to inform us of information. So that's what I can see very quickly. Most of the toothpaste cost $1 to $2, and then one toothpaste costs $4.16. All right, let's keep going. We have another one to look at. This one is what's called a back-to-back stem and leaf plot. Okay, back-to-back. Now, back-to-back stem and leaf plots are so we can compare something. Well, you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, we've got men and we've got women, and we're going to compare their pulse rate. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause, put these in the calculator. Now, I'm going to put these in list number 1, and I'm going to put these in list number 2. You know, you don't have to use a list here, the calculator, if you don't want to, because there's not that many. But I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then I'll be right back, and we'll wrap this stem and leaf plot up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back already. So when we do a back-to-back, we're going to make 2 vertical lines, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the stem is going to go in the center. Now, the lowest pulse rate is in the 50s, so that means we've got to start with a 5. And the highest pulse rate is in the 90s. I'm looking at both sets of data. So that means I need to go to 9. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to put the men on the left and the women on the right. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. You could switch them around if you want. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and put the men on the left. Now, this is a little bit different because when you write these, the smallest number always needs to be closest to the stem. Again, the smallest number always needs to be closest to the stem. For example, the lowest pulse rate for the men is 56. So the 6 has to go first, and then it's the 59. So from right to left. The smallest always needs to be closest to the stem. All right, now the 60s. We've got 61, 65, and 67. We've got 72, 75. Oops, let me make that into a 5. There we go. And 77. Then let me pull this down a little bit. Then we've got an 80 and an 82, and there are none in the 90s for the men. Now the women, we jump all the way down to the 70s. So we have 75, 78, 78, 79, 79. We've got 80, 81, 84, 86, and then we've got 91. Again, I need to make a key, and I'm just going to do this equals 56 pulse rate. Now, again, a back-to-back is so that we can compare. So what do we see? I see women have a higher pulse rate than men. Or you could say the men seem to have a lower pulse rate than women. Or you could say the women have, most of the women's pulse rates are in the 70s and 80s. All right, that's it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. So, which is long enough, it's just over 17 minutes. So you need to go ahead at some point and watch the next video also before class time. We'll see you soon. Bye.